So what exactly is happening with Tesla's auto business? Tesla made a number of announcements and comments at the earnings call, but while some now think the auto business will explode upwards next year, others think it will be capped at $3 million per year until 2027. First, while they did not give guidance on vehicle sales, they announced that Cybercab and TESLA Semi are on schedule for volume production next year. Second, Elon confirmed their vehicle manufacturing capacity will hit $3 million per year in 24 months, and that they're already thinking about new factories. Third, with Elon being 100% that they've solved unsupervised self-driving, the sales of every car Tesla makes will skyrocket. Is this true? Is this wrong? We got Brian White here with us today. He's one of our best Tesla retail analysts. Highly recommend you follow his YouTube channel, FutureAza. He's one of the few. He regularly travels the world. He gets exclusive factory tours and interviews. Thank you so much, Brian.
Great to be here. This is a great topic, and yeah, I think I'm well suited for this conversation.
What we want to know is what's going on with the auto business, and some people are saying it's one way, the other way. The most important one, I think, is this comment that Elon made. I think some people are shocked about, where he said that the capacity for auto manufacturing with our existing factories is at 3 million, and that we're not there yet, and that we might get there within 24 months. I think some people are disappointed. They thought that we were going to get there right away. So does that not mean that, okay, that means they're not going to get to 3 million until 2 years from now? That includes Cybercab, doesn't it? If that is their existing capacity. But he did say we are going to start thinking about new production, new factories. And he also said that that he's now going to increase his production, that this is his, he was reticent to increase production of car sales until we've solved unsupervised. Now that we have, he's going to go full bore. Should I be worried that the maximum number of sales is 3 million until 2 years from now?
Well, yes. To clarify, what he said is, unless we build new facilities, new lines, new all kinds of stuff, we're going to hit a hard limit of 3 million. And that's in the technical bogus. I'm sorry. I just had to clear my throat. I don't buy it.
Really?
No,
What?
I don't buy it, because you and I have crunched the numbers on a factory by factory basis. We know there's a whole lot more capacity in Berlin, for example. We know you could double, triple the capacity in Texas without adding more equipment. You just add more shifts, more hours. And unless he's not including Cybercab in those numbers, the numbers don't make sense. We know how easy it is to build Cybercab compared to anything else they've ever built. Semi, great. Okay, 50,000 capacity. That's not going to move the needle a whole lot. And it's unlikely they'll be selling 50,000. That'd be 25% market share for all Class 8 trucks. Seems a bit unlikely in 2 years, but I think 3 million is too low. Shanghai alone is at 1 million, and their VP of operations, I think it was, I don't remember which executive, recently said our capacity within the same footprint could double. Now, I find doubling to be pretty unlikely, but that right there is 2 million. So and if you look at in the shareholder deck, in the earnings deck that we saw, look at the capacity factory by factory. It still lists Shanghai as 950,000. We know Shanghai can do more than 950,000. Just take last month's numbers and annualize it, and you're well past that. So those are, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, those numbers are sandbagged. You do have to discount the fact that S and X are not going to be selling as huge of numbers as you would like. The capacity of 100,000, they're not going to sell 100,000 S and X, I don't believe. But Shanghai, 950, we saw that number at 450 for a long time. And it's not untrue if you put a greater than symbol in front of it. So yeah, right there we're looking at, these numbers are already not real. We know the capacity for Model Y is, just add more shifts. So they would have to hire people. They would have to train people. And you can't tell me that Texas has lower capacity for Model Y than Berlin. That doesn't make sense. It's a bigger facility. It's equally modern. I just don't see it.
Okay. Interesting. So what's your thought then? If they did not give guidance, if we're over interpreting what he said, What's your thinking of volume production next year and the following year?
I don't know that we'll hit 3 million. It's going to come down to demand. It's going to come down to the economy. It's going to come down to a lot of things, some of which are outside of Tesla's control. There's a big psychological barrier regarding the price. There are people who are still saying, no, I want a car that's 25,000 while ignoring the last 5 years of inflation we've seen. $25,000 cars kind of don't exist. Well, no, I saw a Honda Honda's got one that's 19,990. No, they don't. They have one on paper that's that price. Go to any dealership and tell me if you can find one in stock. They don't exist. No one puts them out on the showroom floor because there's no margin there. They won't sell it. So the real lowest price for a car that's deeply disappointing, a bit unsafe, and no fun at all is probably going to bottom out around 23, 24,000. These cars are very safe. They're very tech forward. They're very fun. Even the new, more affordable models are zippy, are good and fast and exciting. They just don't have a lot of the features that were only added to the cars in the last year or two. Oh no, I don't have a rear screen. I know people who paid $50,000, $60,000 for a Model 3 in 2018, 2019, who also don't have ambient lighting, LED lighting in the cabin, who don't have rear screens, who don't have a lot of who needs it? So the prices are good. The question is, can you sell more? And the answer to that is, well, we do have the more affordable models, which I know some people in the US are disappointed about, but in all the other markets that didn't have an IRA expiring last month, the prices are genuinely lower. And then you've got the YL already in China. Surely that will be exported as soon as it makes sense to do so. And I expect we will see that made available in other markets as well to better utilize the capacity of Giga Berlin and Giga Texas.
Yeah, I mean, sales went up, right? Sequentially, quarter by quarter in Shanghai, in China, in Europe, and even the US.
I got an article sent to me today by a viewer of mine in the Netherlands. He said, read this article about the Model X coming back and tell me what's weird about it. So I hit translate and read it. And it said, Model X is coming back. Here's the colors. Here's the options. Here's the features. Here's the price. I said, nothing. What am I missing? He said, there's no politics. It's just about the car. That's the whole story, is the car. The temperature has come down. It is not the hot button it was 6 months ago, a year ago. It's a car. And that's
even the IRA credit going away would only have affected US, and so it's overblown in terms of what impact is. So you're confident what will happen to volume production sales for next year?
Well, let's start in China. Sales will be up because there's more options, and the market, as much as people are saying there's better stuff out there, is there? It's still a top seller. In terms of, there are new markets being opened every month or two. Morocco was just added. Tesla is now officially in Africa. And then when you're looking at Berlin, German sales have been down, but they appear to be recovering a bit, and other European countries have already recovered, some to record highs. It's a good car. It's a good value. And at the end of the day, that's what people really want. So I am not expecting Q4 to be a record in the US. I think even if they extended the IRA for another 3 months, it would still be a lackluster quarter because so many sales were pulled forward into Q3 that there's just not as many. But there are people who didn't need a car a month ago who do need a car now. Maybe theirs died. Maybe their life situation changed. They're looking at a car today. And what they're comparing it to is the other options on the market, and it's still a good deal.
And then for 2026, what's your estimate for that?
Well, I don't have a number for 26, but I don't see the U.S. will recover. The U.S. sales will recover. Hopefully we get some reasonable movement in terms of tariffs so that we can more easily export to some of the other countries in North America and get vehicles back from them. I'm not sure if that'll happen, but out in the U.S., it'll recover. It'll recover. I think Q4 seasonally strong. It's going to be weaker than usual. Q1 seasonally weak, might overperform last year. And then beyond that, it's just a car market. The IRA will have been forgotten. And in other countries, it's going well.
Yeah, I think I heard from Vapow saying that the more affordable models kind of will offset the the IRA credit going away. That's about the same amount of money that
It's
they would
close.
have been reduced. Yeah.
Also worth
Um,
noting, on that 7,500, you were paying sales tax. So in a lot
mhm.
of states, that's another $700. So it wasn't really 7,500 off. It was more like 6,700 off. And this is 5,000. You're within 1,700 of where you were.
Okay, now Cybercab. So Cybercab is on schedule for volume production next year. Was there anything there that made you feel like some people were saying, I thought it was supposed to be in production this year. Now it sounds like a second quarter of next year, although it is going to be a scale production by the latter half, he said, Elon. Well, how do you feel about the Cybercab production? Is that on track? They did say it's on track for next year, but, timing
Is it
wise.
on track to my expectations? Yes. I expected to see robo-taxi this year, and that's what Tesla reaffirmed today in the earnings
Right?
call. I am not expecting to see Cybercab is a different beast. I thought if we saw some this year, we would see 10, 20, 30. Not any kind of serious volume, more like validation, more like live fleet validation. So to me, this is not surprising.
Yeah. So you're okay with
Oh, yeah.
comments about Cybercab, and
Yes.
then Tesla Semi on schedule.
So I was hoping to see trial production, early production by the end of this quarter. That's clearly not going to happen. As of this week, they've just started moving in paint shop
Yeah.
equipment. That means it's not coming. They're not going to get that done in 10 weeks. So Q1 is when I'm expecting to see early production models. By the end of Q2, I expect them to be ready to start the ramp in earnest. And I've had people ask me, well, who will the first customers be? And I think the
Mm,
answer is the people who are already customers, the people who already
right.
know how to use them, Pepsi, and the others, the people who've been testing them. And of course, internally, if they work, they work. Use them.
Okay. And then back to car sales. One of the things that could actually, again, it's all about production, right? Because the demand, we just talked about it.
Mm.
But one of the big things is if he is 100% confident that they've solved unsupervised self driving, and he talked about how, having the ability, the killer app, let me just show you that screen. The killer app, he said, is that if you can text while you're driving,
Hmm.
that is the killer app. Now, we can ask ourselves if we agree with that. Here's the thing. The simple killer app is if you can text in the car, if we can get unsupervised FSD to be so good that you can text and drive, everyone will buy the car. I'm 100% confident we can make this happen. So it sounds like based on all the comments they made about FSD version 14, it's going to have reasoning. It's going to be able to get as safe as a human at the very least, if not better. They might be able to roll out unsupervised FSD, maybe not this year, but certainly by first half of next year. And if that's the case, all of a sudden, you buy a Tesla, any Tesla that you want to buy, you can have unsupervised FSD for certain regions, I guess. It would depend on certain regions that they would approve it in. 100% of people will buy that car now. People will want to buy that car. It's a huge value prop.
Mm.
Start
So
thinking about this.
this is where I split with a lot of people. While I would agree that there's a world of difference between can I eat sushi while I'm driving and can I make sushi while I'm driving, that would be awesome. But unsupervised means I can go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Unsupervised means I can, you know, not have a driver's license. I could be visually impaired or otherwise incapable of operating a vehicle legally and safely. For that to happen, that means that robotaxi side would have to be at a ratio of, I mean, 0 to 1. It would have to be something like 0 supervisors to 1 vehicle, or something like 1 to 1,000 vehicles, more like OnStar, where it's only in case of extreme emergencies. If we get to that point, truly unsupervised, where the people who are paying $100 a month, it's included. It works. I can sleep. If it's I paid 6,000 8 years ago or 12,000 3 years ago or eight, can I can that be on can that run without my paying attention? If we get to that, hold on to your seats, my friends, because this ride's about to get wild. Because it's no longer a car at that point. It's something else. It's a chauffeur. It is a shuttle. It is a personal. It's a miracle, is what it is, and it would be I mean, I can't even begin to say what that would do, not just to the financials in amazing ways, but to society. And I'm just not convinced we are that close.
Okay, wait. Yeah. So you said at the beginning we differ from so many people, and that you differ in that you don't actually think it's going to happen, or what?
I don't think it's going to. I don't. It's over the horizon. I do not know when. If we were that close, I think we would be seeing a more rapid expansion of the test fleet. I think the problem is that.
Sorry, what do you mean by more?
The robotaxi test fleet. If it was working on whatever their version they're using on the robotaxi test fleet, and it was that close that they would already be at not 3-to-1 on cabs to supervisors, not 10-to-1.
We don't know how many cabs per supervisor they have. And the reason why they're slow right now is he's cautious, paranoid, and then I think most of us believe that they're slow because they want to roll out version 14, test that for 3 months, and then remove the safety driver. Once you remove the safety driver, it's pretty well unsupervised robotaxi in Austin. Why can't you then also do unsupervised, FSD for people who drive their car in Austin? And it takes about 3 months for a city by city. What is it that you're?
Gotcha. So what you're saying is we don't know, therefore why doubt? And I'm saying we don't know, therefore why believe? It's just the other side of the coin. We're both looking into the same Vanta Black diorama. We're just reaching different conclusions.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you that unsupervised FSD for the public, like you and I here in Washington State, will get unsupervised FSD and we can drive without sleep while we're driving. That is a bigger hurdle than robotaxi in a specific geofenced area in Austin and California and other places they're going to roll that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that part I also am very a little bit concerned about, or not concerned, but just a little bit more conservative about. But this idea that we're there, unsupervised FSD is here, it's coming. Like, so you're thinking 2 years out. You're not thinking next year.
I don't know. Next year is very long. If you go back 1 year from today, we were on version 12 still, and version 12 was
what I'm
good,
saying to you.
But it's moving quickly. I think the only thing that's really holding us back is it gets harder and harder to test when there's no edge, when all the edge cases are addressed. The training tail gets longer. And before we do end this video at some point here, I know it will, all good things must come to an end. I do have a mind-blowing idea about Cybercab, and that is that you will never see it is possible you will never see a truck carrying a dozen of them for delivery, because you don't need to.
That's right.
Because if you have got 100 coming out of the factory tomorrow, you take 100 in Austin and send them to Dallas tonight. And the 100 in Dallas goes to Oklahoma City, and everybody just moves one chair, and they never need to be delivered. They just spawn like in a video.
Okay, maybe. That's interesting.
It's possible. Why use trucks?
Oh, use trucks. Yeah, you don't need it. Interesting. So that is, will FSD boost car sales? Maybe not next year.
When FSD is unsupervised, it's going to boost sales.
Yeah, it would be great, but maybe not next year, right? Okay.
No, there are companies in China that believe they're very close to it, just like Tesla believes, we believe Tesla is very close to unsupervised FSD, unsupervised autonomy. And if a company in China solves it today, it doesn't matter for the US market. They're not coming here. So when Tesla solves this, there is nobody in their rearview mirror. There is nobody sneaking up behind them to try and overtake them at the last second. When Tesla solves this, they will be the first in the US to have a consumer car that drives itself.
Right. What about this comment that FSD version 14, that version 14.3, they're going to add reasoning. What it'll do is drop you off at the entrance of the store, go find a parking spot. It's going to use reasoning to solve things. It actually knows which parking spot is better. It will, they gave a bunch of other examples on that. And Ashok confirmed that he goes, yeah, reasoning will happen by the end of this year, which is like a month and a half from now, or 2 months, 2.5 months from now. So when that
Yes.
happens and this car actually starts to behave like this, so even if you don't have unsupervised FSD, so do you agree with this thing that even if it has all these wonderful features, that ain't going to move car sales? But if you have this ability where, yes, you can now sleep in the car, yes, you can now eat, you can text all the way, that will be the thing that's going to drive car sales next year.
Yes, there are a lot of technical things that people think, well, the market just needs to understand this. My friend, the market is going to do its own thing. People are very simple. If I can get out of my car in front of the door and let it go do its thing in the rain, in the snow, whatever it may be, we will reach a point where people say, do you remember when you used to have to walk out to your car? Oh, yeah, my uncle's got an antique. We have to walk out to it. It's wild. And what do they mean by reasoning in a parking lot? Well, it's easy to say, yeah, this parking spot's a little narrow. Let's not park there. That's not enough. Reasoning is that car next to it is all banged up. Don't park next to them.
Yeah.
There's the other thing is it can see parking spots you and I can't because we're looking ahead. We have tunnel vision, and it's looking at two. You've seen the visualizations on your screen. It's looking 2-3 rows over. It can find the spots. So this is going to move it when it is so convenient that it's not a car anymore.
So yeah, I'm confused again. I want to clarify what you're saying. Because Elon is saying that unsupervised FSD is the thing that will move car sales. These features like this will come. It will move it, but not like it won't. Right? I don't think it will. At one point, I thought that things will go viral because the parking lot scenario is the one that people can actually videotape, and they can actually really see that there's nobody there. The car's dropping you off, finding a parking spot. It's going to pick you up. But it hasn't happened, even though Summon is already available. And not so sure anymore that is the feature that all of a sudden people will start buying the car. I think he's right. Elon's right that it's only when you can say you could sleep in the car, only when you can say you could text all day. That's what's going to drive car sales.
What I want is Summon that I don't have to supervise, where I don't have to stare at the screen and hold the button down, where I can say, just pick me up in front, just anywhere in this area, hit the button and it's there. Summon as it exists today is so inconvenient that I seldom use it, and only because it's a fun party trick. It's not actually helpful. And Banish is going to be immensely helpful, especially if it's a holiday shopping season where parking spots are hard to find. Heck, it could still be circling by the time I get back out. That's just as good. So
no, we know it's valuable, but is it going to drive new car sales next year?
Summon and Banish? No. I think
that's what I'm trying to get at.
Those are tipping point things, maybe, but I don't think so. I think being able to get a nap on the way to work is going to be very valuable to some people.
Okay. And then you're still saying that won't happen until a year. I agree with you. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. It's a different animal, right? Which jurisdictions, who's covering the insurance, the safety is much higher bar than.
Is it legal for me to text if I'm behind the wheel, even if I'm not driving? Some states have already written exceptions for that. But mine, I don't think ours has.
Okay. So let's wrap this up here. We're talking about Tesla's auto business. What was your take on this? Pros and cons, more positive than negative? What did you hear?
What I heard was what I needed to hear. What I heard was reaffirming all of the targets that we've expected. Some of these targets are coming up very quickly. When it came to, we're going to be in 8 to 10 markets by the end of the year, I was surprised. That's a lot of growth in the next 10 weeks. We are running out of year.
Oh, wait, I'm talking about auto business, not robotaxi.
Oh, so the auto business, what do I think about that? Well, it's what we knew it was going to be. It's, the auto business isn't the important part of it anymore. I'm not here for the popcorn. I'm here for the butter and the salt. But if I have to eat popcorn to get butter and salt, I'm going to do it. This is how you get your autonomous brains out into the world. This is how you monetize your AI proficiencies. I know it sounds cliche. Tesla is an AI company that happens to make cars. They're a robot company that happens to sell robots that have wheels instead of feet. These sound silly, but they're true. So what is the auto business doing? Right now, it's in a little bit of a holding pattern. We will sell as many cars as people would like to buy, but that's not what our focus is. That's not the direction we're headed. As soon as this autonomy is solved, they will open the floodgates. That's my.
I think this was in terms of the auto business. I think this is the most important comment he made. He said, "I feel confident in expanding Tesla's production as quickly as we can. I was reticent to do that until we had clarity on achieving unsupervised FSD. I think it now makes sense to expand production as fast as we can." Now that he's feels very confident unsupervised FSD is here or will be here very soon, he's 100% confident we're there. He said that. He's going to go full bore. So while some of us are going, oh, sounds like a 3 million capacity, that's all it is, we won't see that many cars until 2027. Elon is now ready to press the gas pedal and start building factories, expanding capacity with it. And then you're saying that you actually think he's maybe sandbagging there because you think that there is more capacity than 3 million in existing, especially if it's going to be more unsupervised, the Cybercab's unboxed model.
Yes. And while I am too young to understand what a gas pedal is, did you call it? I'm not familiar with that term. The accelerator is what I call the electric dispenser because I am a young man. This is exactly right. They are the question I hear is people saying, well, no, he's just saying it's Cybercab time. Guys, there's 100 postings for Cybercab production. That's not something you do if you're a year or 2 years from actually releasing a product. That's something you do when you start spooling up. So this is real. It's now, it's happening, and it's exciting.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it. Your knowledge on factories and car production has been very good. And Cybercab, right? You've know so much about that. Thank you for sharing. Follow Brian on his YouTube channel, FutureAza. Thanks, everybody. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.